Hello my friends and welcome to episode 18 of our Football Manager 2020 save with Rangers. This was obviously the save that we started on the beta. The database that I'm doing for our main series is coming along. I've got about a few parts of it made, but I want to keep bits of it separate, so if I do put it up for people to download, they can have a choice of which way they want to have it and whatnot, as well as it gives me the choice. There's bits of it that I might use, there's bits of it I might not use. I haven't decided, so if I keep it all separate, should work together anyway, then it would allow me to make that decision when it comes to the final decision to start the series. So I've basically done all the stuff that doesn't involve changing the league structures yet, and that is the bit that I will do last. That's the bit that's the most time consuming, but every other part is almost together. But I needed to make sure to test them, make sure they were working in tandem before I did. So before we get on with today's episode, we're only going to do one game today, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the staff changes we've had, some of the financial situation, and maybe have a little mid-season or a mid sort of October rather assessment of the squad, because I feel, thinking about it, and now it's been a couple of days since I played the last game to bringing you back here for this record point, and I've been thinking about the save quite a bit going forward, because what I want to do is I want to develop the team as quickly as possible to really push it forward and have maybe a good sort of last 18 months. I see this series going no more than 3-4 seasons tops, so I want to make sure the team is correct, particularly for that final series season rather. So I want to talk to you about that before we go into the game against Napoli as well. But first of all, since the last episode, we've had a few games. That was against Ajax, where we lost 3-0, and then Celtic, where we won 2-0. We played Dundee in the Betfred Cup, rotated side, as you can see, very much a reserve side. Jamie Barona's getting a game as well in there. Adrian Hunu started on left wing to ease some of our issues. Jamie Barona's actually played on the right wing. That is how limited we were in terms of fitness for players, and he actually played reasonably well. We won 3-0, Brophy with a goal and Hanu with a brace before we played Hibs, and again Hanu played off the left wing and he scored a brace. Borna Barisic with a penalty to give us that. It took us a while to break down Hibernian. They were running fairly close behind us at this point, and we'd done fairly well to eventually broke our resolve, and after that it was plain sailing. We then played Lyon, and this game they had a missed penalty, so I'm going to say that now. They had a missed penalty, Moussa Dembele missed it, and they won 2-0, goals from some guy and Depay. I'm calling him some guy because I'm not even going to try and pronounce it just now, because my speech just isn't great at the minute. But it wasn't that kind of game. I actually felt, particularly for the first half, we were by far the better side. We didn't put our chances away, they put theirs away. We were exposed down the right again, much similar to the Ajax game, however, and that is something that I'm going to discuss in a little bit. We then played St Johnstone. We won 2-0. Ryan Kent and Joe Aribo with the first half goals that got us in there before a 0-0 frustrating draw away to Partick Thistle. Not ideal, but as you'll see in the last two games here, Alex Lowry, do you remember him? Promoted him up. We're giving him a shot. My reserves coaches were giving him all sort of rave reviews, and I felt it was time to give him a chance. He's just had 2 games off the bench so far with a 6.7. He's not been great, but we are having to switch to a central midfielder on attack to get him in the team, where he's much more natural, and he's stat wise he can play that position fairly well. If I was playing that position, I'd probably break him into the first team right now and let him have a run. But if we click on the advanced playmaker, as you see, there's a couple of stats there that do start to let him down. Flair in particular is a big concern in that, but he's getting a couple of games. We've also promoted Richie Holster to the first team, going to give sort of him a couple of games off the bench as well, but again he's done extremely well in the reserves. He's still allowed to play in the reserves, both him and Lowry, as well as a couple of others still playing in the reserves, but they were the two that when I was looking at I went, do you know what, let's get them up. The quicker we break them into the team, the quicker we can see if they're going to develop, and the quicker we can see where they're going to be. There's a couple of guys that are out on loan that I want to do the same for next season. So, with terms of the squad, what I'm going to do is we're going to go into team report. Now, this isn't going to be necessarily accurate because it's done by star ratings and whatnot. But if we have a look at goalkeepers, I'm fairly happy with our goalkeepers. We've got Farinez, we've got McGregor, we've got McCrory there. McCrory developing nicely. He's had a couple of clean sheets. In fact, the only person I can remember that scored against him is his brother with an own goal. He apparently played in a Champions League game. I can't remember that one. Oh, it might have been the very early one, so maybe isn't the only one that scored against him. Centre backs, we need depth. Shooter's good, Catch is good. Van Pros is good. Reichman was good, but he's obviously out for a very, very long time. Josh Knight isn't good enough. But Mavrampos and Knight will be away next season anyway. We need to add depth. There's a good chance we lose both Shooter and Catch in the summer. So that is an issue. Right back is a big, big problem area. I brought Stephen O'Donnell in to be a backup. Serginho Dest, and I was trying to look at it because when I looked at him initially, I was like, oh, he fits all my tick boxes. One of the tick boxes that I have always given as a given for a fullback, and I'll be honest with this is my mistake, I never look at positioning. He's got positioning of 8, marking of 8. When his tackling's not great and he's not the quickest, that becomes a bit of an issue. So he's a good player, he's got a lot of potential, but he's not ready yet. And that's a problem because when we have a look at Asta, the guy who brought in on loan? He's not even on this list. We can find him another time. But the point is, he's not good enough. And Stephen O'Donnell isn't a first choice right back for us. He's decent. He's got a couple of goals for his name for us. One in the league and one in the Champions League, and a couple of assists with a reasonable performance. But he's not a guy who's ever going to come in and replace James Tavernier straight away. He's got no potential to really develop and get any better. He was always going to be the guy that replaced the Alan Hutton, John Flanagan situation by being one that was a backup, not two, and that's the issue. So right back is a big, big problem. Left back I'm fairly content with. If we lose Barisic, which there's a chance we will, we do have a problem. He's a good player, very, very good player, but the only backup we've got there is Aaron Hickey. We can go into the reserves and we'll have a couple of other young lads that are very good. Aaron Hickey, by the way, bought for 130,000, he's worth 2.6. That's pretty good development for 23 games. He is good, he's coming along, he's in a better position than Dest on the other side. However, I don't think he's ready to be that guy to lead the line. It's very similar to O'Donnell. The difference is he's 10 years younger. He will develop into a good player. We would need to bring a short-term replacement in to replace Barisic, however. Midfield I'm fairly happy with. The defensive midfield of McCrory and Cervella is very, very good. The actual central midfield, all we can see here right now is Aribo, Gomez, Jack and McCrory and Cervella in both the roles. However, it's a very strong midfield. We've got Acosta in there. We've got so many guys. It's one thing that when we went for an injury crisis, I actually wish in many ways the injury crisis hit the central midfield because we always had one more player behind. Rather, his midfield's kind of been used for its versatility since then. Left wing, we've obviously got Kent, Batista Mayer. I did make a bid to get Batista Mayer. It got accepted. Unfortunately, we didn't agree on a contract. I'm going to go back in on that because I will probably give him the contract that he wants. There was a clause that I didn't want in the contract that I tried to get out that I maybe should have just accepted because it wouldn't have been the worst clause in the world to have. Ryan Kent's very good on that side. Batista Mayer I prefer slightly on the right. Keishna is the same. And obviously we've got Aarons who's out on loan, still valued at 7 million at the last time I checked. He's had an okay loan at Hibs. But we've also got this lad here, Vito Baragrini, just coming back from injury as well. Unfortunately, I think that injury is probably just going to be a bit too much for him. But he can come in, he can do a job, and we can sell him on for a profit. Kind of what I'm thinking there now. So I think long term we need to readjust our wings, which is why I wanted to bring Batista Mayer in. He's worth 1.4 million now. He was worth 250k or something like that when we signed him on loan. Striker wise, we've got an issue, which is why again I promoted Richie Holster. But Brophy, he's just proven not to be good enough. He's played 4 games with 3 off the bench. He's got 2 goals. It's not good enough. In reality, again, we can make a nice little profit on him, and he's a decent backup. Morelos, Schalke want him. I want to sign a new contract for him. He wants to sign a new contract. I'm on his favourite personnel, and he'd be more than happy to sign a new contract. As you can see, negotiate clause. But he's only played 18% of recent international games and is required to play 60 for a work permit. It is far too big a risk for me to go and offer him a contract just now. I mean, what do you guys suggest on this? Now, I could try and get the work permit and have like a backup save that we go back to if he doesn't. That's not something that I particularly like to do. But because he is such an important player for our team, he's got another, 3 years on his deal? 23. And we're in 20, so he's got 3 years on his deal. And within 2 he can apply for citizenship. But realistically, can we hold on to him for that length of time without giving him a new deal? And that's the big question. The other option is we risk it, or we just don't risk it and we just wait it out. So you guys let me know your opinion in the comments of what you would do in this situation if this was your save. Because realistically, I don't want to play games while that would be in discussion. So do we wait to pre-season and then do that? But the reality is we can't really afford to not give him a new contract. The value's actually going down, which is a bit frustrating and unusual. Hanu is decent, but again, he's not a Rangers striker. Actually, when I've played him, I've preferred him on this left wing compared to when I've played him through the middle. Money-wise, we've still got 50 million transfer budget. We've got a decent amount of our wage budget left. 54 million in the bank, but that's declining a little bit. Obviously, if we could get some Champions League points, that would help with that and prevent the regression just a little bit. Stadium's probably a bit too small. I did ask for an expansion, but unfortunately I wasn't the cleverest and done it before everything sort of happened in terms of player sales and making the Champions League. So the board said, yeah, we agree, but we can't afford it. And in reality, we were £3 million in debt at the time, so it wasn't the smartest decision by me. So I think from there, we're just going to skip straight into the game. I've not selected my team, I don't think. As I said, I've not even looked at this in a couple of days. So we will probably make a couple of changes here. I think if we bring in Barisic and O'Donnell, where's Katic? We'll bring in Katic as well. Cervella out for Ross McCrory. I'm going to make some changes to the actual tactics as well when we go into the game. Arebo and Acosta's probably fine, but I kind of want Sergio Gomez in this game. Can drop a thingy for off the bench though. Actually, do you know what? I might go with Gomez and Arebo here. I've just got a feeling that Gomez and Arebo might be the mix to go with. Then Wilson, Kent, Morelos with Batista Meyer on the bench. I'm fairly content with that. Yeah, I think that's probably about our strongest squad. Now I'm going to make some changes, as I said, to the tactics when we get into this match, because I want to test some things out. In Europe we've got very, very much exposed down the right hand side, but there's other things that are issues with it. So I'm going to try changing some things out. It's an away game, so it doesn't really matter too much if it goes wrong. Pretty much Champions League's done. And hopefully, we can, get a feel for things. So I'm going to go back down to positive, put you on support, and stop playing the ball out of defence. Reduce the tempo slightly, time wasting slightly. Basically let them have a bit of common sense about it. And see what we can do from there, because we're not had a very good run at this Champions League yet. Right now, they've started fairly bright. We have not, so I'm going to go with a show some passion. Frustrated by the feedback. Smashing! That shout went very, very well. Almost perfect. Okay, let's try Get Creative. They tend to respond quite well to Get Creative. Inspired! And we've had our first shot. It wasn't on target, but, improvement. Mertens with the free kick. Now, I have seen a free kick scored now, as Mertens does it again. So I've seen 2 free kicks scored, both quite similar, both in the Champions League against us. Fahrenheit just doesn't have the jumping reach to deal with that, unfortunately. Maybe that's our issue. Not good, but we're looking a bit stronger down the right. You know, we've not conceded a lot of highlights. Aribo wins that one well. Harry Wilson, Sergio Gomez, Ross McCrory, Stephen O'Donnell plays it in for Harry Wilson. Back to O'Donnell. Wilson, he's played it in. I feel like he could have had a crack at that there. He was on his stronger foot, or he'd been cutting in on his stronger foot, and he would have had space. Morelos didn't have the space to take a shot on. Katic should win that in the air. Unfortunately, it doesn't fall for Aribo. Insigne, he's got a knock, which probably helps O'Donnell, but he's done him. Insigne, despite the knock, just makes O'Donnell look absolutely stupid. Aribo closing down well, but unfortunately they're just passing it through us, and that came from Harry Wilson refusing to shoot and just passing it to them instead. And again, we're done down the right hand side. Or down our right hand side is what I should say. Fabian under no pressure, unfortunately. What position is he playing? I kind of want to have a look at that. All position instructions, please. Fabian, I'm going to get Ross McCrory to go and have a look at him. Mark specific player, Fabian, please. Thank you. Not been a good half at all, has it? Their entire defensive line is booked though. That's got them riled up. So hopefully that does some difference. And hopefully, I mean, I've not marked an attacking midfielder yet this season. Oh my dear God, Sergio Gomez. That was abysmal, son. What a ball out from Fahrenheit into Harry Wilson here, but he's got no real support. He's going to play it across. Again, just not connecting a pass here. We have to be connecting with these passes. We have to match our press a bit better. Or take the press off, because either way, it's not working. Good tackle from Sergio Gomez. Or good interception rather. But he's just ran and ran and ran until the guy's caught up with him. Pass the ball, man. Katic with a good pass into Morelos. It's offside anyway. Insigne whips this one in. McCrory away. Good header. It actually got a fair bit of distance onto that. Mertens. They just look hungrier than us. That's what it is. In Europe, and this has been the case in Europe, I was going to say it's a poor pass, but the goalkeeper's made up for it. It's knocked on for Harry Wilson. Can he find a pass? It's brought down. He's off. Okay. Let's start playing out of defence, higher tempo. Stop doing that. Go attacking. Let's see how this gets on. And do you know what else I'm going to do actually? I didn't show you my staff change. I'll show you that in the next episode. I'm sorry guys. Oh, they've brought Insigne off as I went to do that. Never mind. What changes can we do to change things? Harry Wilson is frustrated, so I'll bring him off. And we'll go with a get creative. If we can get a goal, I'll be happy now. Batista Mayer with the corner, whips in. It's a poor corner, really, from the German. Ross McCrory back out to the German. Ryan Kent. Pass the ball, man. Good challenge from Batista Mayer, and he's away. Man on loan from Bayern Munich who I want to sign. He's ran the length of the pitch now. Is he going to pass it? Morelos! Somehow kept in play with that save. McCrory. O'Donnell keeps it alive. He's got Batista Mayer ahead of him, who's got no interest in actually getting onside to support him. Whipped in eventually. Just not a good ball. Morelos just doesn't have the height to deal with these guys. And I'm going to bring Ryan Kent off for Adrian Hanu. He's not the quickest, but I don't think we need to be the quickest now. Can I confirm sub, please? Don't know what happened there. It does that. It's like a little freezy thing it does a few times. Barisic with the corner, whipped in. Can't quite win it. Acosta's missed it, so did Dergalado. Barisic again. Plays it in for Arribo. It's blocked. Second effort. Goal. It's our first goal of this Champions League group stage. It's not been a good effort at this. But you know what? We've actually, since they had their red card, we've actually picked up a little bit. So maybe the tactic that I was initially using is the correct one. Maybe it's just because they've got a man off, to be fair. But, you know, this isn't a shameful result now. It's not been a good performance, but it's not a shameful result. Fabian getting man of the match. Unfortunately for us, I probably marked him too late. I do think that definitely helped. But I'm fairly happy with that team talk. And that is probably about to be the end of this episode. Spain manager was watching Sergio Gomez. Now, that's a stretch. He's been good for us, but he's not been that good. We'll come back in the next episode for Napoli and Ajax as a double header, I think. Both of them at home as well, so actually we've got 2 home games remaining before we go to Lyon away, so we could still maybe sneak third. I mean, if I press the right thing, of course. We're only 3 points behind Ajax. The goal difference, of course, and the head-to-head is not good. And of course they've still got Lyon to play, so actually scrap that. We're probably out of the Champions League, probably out of Europe altogether. But if we can get some points together, maybe. We've got 2 home games, we can win both of them. And then nick a draw in Lyon. Who knows? On that note though, I'm going to end this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time.